Oh wow, that was I was expecting. Wow.
When you do it, it's just like you're like there's no like parade or anything.
No, the curtain opens and three people sit there. You know, that's
staring. We're just staring.
I love. So if you guys can each introduce yourselves, we'll start with Casey.
I'm Casey Dillard. I wrote Driven, and I was in it.
And then we have Mr. Rich.
I'm Richard Speight, and I was in Driven.
And then finally, Glenn Payne.
I'm Glenn Payne. Spoiler, Marley. Thank you. And I was the director of Driven.
You were indeed. You were.
And we all did other things as well, probably.
I didn't really bring much to the table other than the one thing.
I'm sure. I bet you did at some point.
You know, I think we auctioned off a wine mug. That was about it.
Right.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
What was that, Casey?
I said we took his pants.
Oh yeah, that's right. You took his pants.
In my pants. That was awkward.
So just to go ahead and get this started, Glenn, can you tell everyone how they can watch the movie? It's released today, so what are their options?
Sure. So there's several places you can watch it. It's on iTunes digitally, and you can get the DVD on Amazon, in which there are lots of fun extras, including a commentary with Casey, Rich, and myself, as well as other cool, funky stuff. And also any other VOD platforms that you like, Google Play, Amazon, Vudu, et cetera, et cetera. If you use it, just search for us, and it might pop up.
Have you, Glenn, you're obviously a proud papa of this bad boy, and Casey, you the proud mother. Have you guys watched it on these services yet? Have you checked it out on iTunes or any of the platforms?
I have not. But I did go and just look it up to see, the poster to confirm that it was there, and I was like, yeah, cool.
I thought you would pay to watch it on all of those platforms. Just dish out.
I was about to say I can't currently afford to watch Driven until I get money from Driven. So please, everyone, so I can watch.
The campaign should be help Casey see her own movie.
Yes, exactly.
Well, great. Okay, so we will jump into some of these questions that are happening on here on the chat, and thank you for everybody for joining and commenting in the chat room. That's wonderful. Did
you introduce yourself, Marley?
Yeah, who are you? Who are you and why are you here?
I am the star of the frickin' show. My name is Marley Maharrey, and I live here in Tupelo. I have known Glenn I've known Glenn for about 15 years. I've known Casey for over around 10 years. And then I've known Rich for about a couple of hours 2 years ago. So
you kept him warm. You had a very warm heater.
For anyone who caught a Driven Q&A on the festival circuit, when we talked about the night that our crew was frozen into the cabin and our friends Marley and Tyler saved us, this is the Marley that we're talking about. So she is involved.
Yeah, I'm here. And I still have that car, and that car is still very warm after even those couple of years.
Oh man.
So let's go to a question. We have, when reading the script, what scene initially stood out the most? Now, of course, Casey, you said that you were a writer in the script, and Glenn, you've also worked on the writing. So I guess this is mostly towards Rich at the moment. Rich, if you could tell us what scene stood out the most when you read the script.
Okay, I don't know if I can say that there was a scene that was what grabbed me. What grabbed me was I knew when I was handed the script that it was a low budget movie because I knew the parameters that they were working with. And what I read wasn't a low budget movie in terms of the content of it. It was written to be shot affordably. But there's nothing about it that wasn't. It was super clever. The characters were super well developed. I think specifically if there's one beat at that I thought, that plays out great was, and again, this actually I think might fall into the spoiler category, so I won't reveal it. But it's the very last scene actually when it's where these characters go at the end. And then where our lead character, Casey's character, goes at the end. And I just thought it was just, you know, it was clever without winking at its own cleverness. And I thought it had heart, and it had a lot of elements that are absent in indie films. When I say indie films, I mean true. I don't mean Lionsgate. I mean actual indie films, raise money, make your own movie. I just thought it was a very, very well written script.
Please call us.
Yeah, but we're all ears. But that's right. It wasn't one scene. It was just the whole concept that was so well executed. Because you know, if you pitch the idea of two people in a car for 80 pages, you know, that I'm sure that gets a lot of yawns on the thought, but the execution was fantastic. And so when I read, they told me the idea, and I thought, well, we'll see how this goes. And then reading it, it's like, this is just fantastic. It's just so clever and so well done. So, you know, Casey just did a great job. And I can only say this to her now because I didn't want to give her the big head during the shoot. But, you know, she just did a great job developing the characters. It's a great script.
Thank you.
Um,
It's very kind of you.
That was very nice.
What's the fastest speed you actually went while filming the movie?
Well, that's a good question.
Nice tech.
That is-
Prince of.
Are we referring to just the driving?
Yes, the
That-
drive.
Yeah.
Casey, what's the fastest you went?
Not fast. Probably like 35 tops.
Fictionally, how fast do you think you went? What was the fastest you went? Like,
Fictionally, he was ripping through some residential streets at like 55, 60.
nice.
I mean, you know where to drive. Like you can't build up that much momentum because there's a lot of four-way stops and red lights. But yeah, I think she was making some good time.
Mhm, mhm.
How many people do you think she ran over that night that we don't see in the movie?
Just one.
Lots
But-
of school.
Glenn Payne.
Yeah,
But it
some guy named Glenn Payne.
It was tragic.
Which
No, wait.
scene,
Sorry, go ahead.
outside of course, the last night of filming, the last couple of nights of filming, because that was interesting and challenging. Outside of that, what scene or what location was the most difficult to film in? What was the hardest part with that?
I would say,
Yeah.
what'd you say?
The gas station.
That would have been that would have been what I guessed.
Yeah, the gas station was tough because it was open to the public.
Yeah, we couldn't control everyone around us.
Well, and that's, yeah, as far as just the actual location, that would probably be the answer for me. But the one that I was going to say, which you could argue in a different time of the year could have been the easiest location, or one of them, was near the end of the film, where we were filming sort of the big climactic scene, and the wind was cutting through because there was no trees. We were out there in the field at that aquatic center, and everyone, and we were there the whole day, so the whole shoot was in that one spot, and the wind was just like ripping people in half, man. I know you guys remember that. I don't see how you could move your lips, Rich, because you had like a little monologue when you stood outside of the car. And
Yeah, but again, that's when I was sitting in the heated car for most of the time. Like I really was, catered to. I had a curated experience compared to everybody else. So
yeah,
I got to warm up between takes.
Yeah, I was there for a little bit. It was pretty cool. Yeah. And I had some of your co-stars also came into my vehicle because it was very warm. So
that was
Yeah.
a difficult night.
I did have that fear though, like you read from like the 70s, that I would get in the car, the heat would be on, I'd doze off, and then I'd die of carbon monoxide poisoning. You guys come back to get me, and I'm like, they open the car and I'd fall out.
no,
So
That particular night could have been very unpleasant for all of the entities if Glenn had gone through with his original plan of putting these like giant lamps in people's mouths. Yeah, that was
that wasn't gonna work. That was not. Listen, you had a lot of great ideas that work. Just hang your hat on that. Hang your hat on those.
I wish if I'd only had one more hour to figure it out.
Glenn, we're about to go to our next question, but I have a request from multiple people who are watching this.
Okay.
take the blazer off so they can see the full shirt during.
They want me to take my clothes off? Is that what you're telling me?
Clothes off so that they can.
I didn't realize they'd get to my question so soon.
Well, I'm gonna do this because it's blazing hot in here, and
Woo! I
Yeah.
get it. Blazing.
I haven't pointed out that I'm wearing the orange shirt. And we were in Los Angeles apparently like yesterday, a year ago. Is that right? The screening? I saw it on like Facebook, with the reminder or whatever.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
Facebook memories.
So the three of us were all there hanging out.
Yeah.
I love this question. It's very unique. If you had a driven cocktail, what would be in a driven cocktail? I'm gonna first ask Glenn this because
It's such a Glenn question.
Well,
I mean-
obviously there'd be a lot of citrus.
Cocktails.
Yeah, Mr.
A lot of
Cocktail.
citrus. A lot of citrus.
Mhm.
Of some gasoline, probably would make sense. Brake fluid, and then a little. Then you just take a whole finished, completed appletini and you pour that in to what was already there. But don't mix it. Just drink it. Don't stir it up, or you'll die.
what
So
would
you
you-
only get one of those ever because it obviously kills you.
Yeah.
I hate antifreeze is very tasty. Like pets and children are really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you, Casey? I can't remember. Like, do you consume alcohol at all? Are you a drinker at any level or no? I can't.
I'm
I don't remember.
consuming
If we, like,
As we speak. So yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see,
what are you
let's see.
drinking now? Then
Yeah.
question from the panel. What are you drinking right now?
There you go. Yeah. What are you drinking?
Cuervo Especial.
Ooh.
Nice. How
And
are
that's-
you? Are we on ice? Are we straight up? What are we doing?
We're just shooting it. And that's why I'm not best equipped to answer this question because I don't do a lot of mixed drinks. But as I'm making friends with more like mixologists and stuff, I'm a little more into the idea, mainly
Right.
because I know people are really good at it and I can mooch off them sometimes.
Right.
Um,
Sure.
I had something good recently that it had like vodka and lemonade and blackberry simple syrup. And I've been trying to replicate it with the mulberry simple syrup I made from the bush in my yard. So I'm going to say that would be my driven cocktail because it was
Well,
tasty.
what was the cocktail called with the original recipe? Do you remember?
I believe the platypus.
Okay, so now it's called the Casey Puss with your berries in there. You
Let's read that name.
Comfortable with the name Casey Puss?
Yeah.
You guys don't like cats?
Darn
Oh,
it.
for crying out
They love cats. Let me tell you.
loud. Yeah, you're an
They got-
animal lover.
I am an animal lover. I do love it.
How about the plaid Dillard? Is that better?
That sounds worse somehow.
What would be in your driven cocktail?
My driven cocktail was I'm going with the theme from the actual shoot, which was it would be a. Well, hey, what was the name of the barbecue joint, Casey, that you guys sent me to that I liked? It was like the Purple Pig, or it was something
Neon pig.
Neon Pig. It would be red wine consumed out of a Neon Pig coffee mug,
Oh, okay.
because that was my evening cordial after coming home from a night of shooting.
Here's that.
Oh man, with your sandwich, your bag.
Yeah, exactly, man. It was great. I'd come home with my sandwiches, and I'd watch the morning CNN because we were shooting all night. So it was usually like whatever the good morning everybody, CNN in the news.
So you went to bed very informed.
Yeah.
Coley Bryant says, "Hi, Marley. Puff hug, Coley.
Uh,
Hug.
Hug." And then for Glenn and Casey, how much denim is too much denim for a demon?
well, if it's Coley, he can get away with as much denim as he
There
wants.
is no.
Yeah.
There's no limit to the denim for a demon. Okay.
Now he was.
Wait, he showed up in jeans, a jean shirt, and jean jacket, and that's probably what he's referring to.
That's
Yeah. Which is in the movie. That's canon now.
That's exactly the right amount. That's actually a common tell for demons.
yes.
The all denim
Hot
ensemble.
tip. Yes.
He was new.
Brittany like in those all denim outfits, a whole new meaning, right? When they were at the award show in the all denim outfits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Casey, as the writer, what was your favorite scene to see come to life? That's from R.S. Sanchez.
Oh man.
Heather Roebuck.
So for comedy, I had so much fun writing the scene with Emerson, Roger, and Grace, the roommate, with him like freezing up and seeming much more suspicious than he needed to. I loved writing that. I don't usually laugh while I'm writing, but I could see it playing out. I think I might have even been picturing Richard at that point in time. So that one was great. And Mary Kinney, whom, well, now I guess we all sort of know her, but like, she's really good. I'm glad that she auditioned for the movie. I'm glad she got cast. So I knew it was in good hands. I wish I could have enjoyed it more while we were filming it, because that was when I was pretty sick still, but like also it was soothing to know. I was like, you know what? It's okay, because they're kind of carrying this scene and I'm just the mediator between these characters. And so that one was very gratifying to see play out. I also liked Roger and Emerson. They fight a lot, but they have one pretty big one. And I thought Richard knocked it out of the park. It was like, it was better than I could have hoped for, as far as just a scene partner to work off of and everything else. So that was really nice.
That's nice of you to say. And I know the scene you're talking about, and I remember thinking, because I feel like the other fights between Emerson and Roger are comedy fights.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know what I mean? And then that fight is an actual fight.
Right.
And it definitely is a tone shift. And I remember feeling that was a great exercise in it's play acting, what we're doing, because the scenes were long like theater. So it was a fun process working those out. And I agree. I thought you likewise did a fantastic job in that scene.
Thank you. And all of it, like the editing was good, and Matt Steed with that fantastic score. I think about, like, I'm not going to say the exact line, but you hear like the music, it stops and then it kicks back in kind of at one point. Matt Steed, who is our composer, was brilliant. He brought a lot to that. Glenn obviously did, I thought, a great job capturing everybody's sort of best moments. Anyway, yeah, that one was really, really gratifying to watch play out. That and the ending scene gets me more than I expected. Like that's the one that I'm not tired of watching at this point. I would still sneak back into screenings at film festivals to see sort of the final scene.
And I would say that you guys both killed it. And you're talking about the heated scene between the two of you, especially. I mean, all throughout the film, but in that one, like, it was very, I don't know, it was one of those where you get really lost in it when you're watching it. Even when I watch the finished product, because you capture every little piece and then you edit it together, so where there was a lighting guy right there and blah blah. But when I watch that scene, it's just like you just forget about everything else, and you two are just totally in there crushing it, and it's very sincere, and I love it. It's great. You guys
cool.
Hi, Elizabeth Lord. We love you.
Elizabeth. Also, hey, Heather Roebuck. Heather Roebuck is watching. She commented. She was our assistant director, and she did wardrobe. That's her normal job when I don't make her do a lot of jobs at once.
Let's see. What about Casey and Glenn? Of course, I do improv with you here in Tupelo. Tell us about some improvising that you may have done during filming.
There wasn't a ton.
Oh wow! Okay, the script was there.
I think I improvised with you as much as I did with Richard, to be honest. I know that Rich, you reworked a few lines to where I guess they flowed more comfortably, which I'm like, as a writer, I am completely good with. But I mean,
Yeah,
we didn't.
but I don't think we really improv. I mean, you would have told me more than if you guys improv this before I showed up. But I feel like when we showed up, we were operating, barring minor logistical changes. Like if I said this before that, just kind of working out that. But no, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't remember it being very improv heavy at all. The truth of the matter is that question comes up a lot in interviews about anything I've ever done. And I think that there's a perception. I know you guys have an improv background, but there's a perception of when things are light and fun, it must have been a laugh riot on set, and typically people are enjoying themselves, but it's also a labor intensive process, getting all the angles and all the lighting, and in this case, Glenn and a team of people crammed into the car with us to try to get it shot, and so. You really can't improv because then you're married to something that you've got to cover 10 ways to Sunday. You know what I mean? Like it becomes logistically not really feasible. I think improving works if you're doing double coverage on a comedy or something, but
Yeah.
Or if your improv disrupts something, then like you kind of get the feeling that you've wasted people's time. Or is that just?
Well,
no, I think when you improv something, you're going off script, and if it doesn't land, you've gone down a road that you now have to back out of. You know what I mean? Like it's and it just wasn't that kind of movie, because the movie was so specific in its design. And again, when time and money and sunset and everything else is going,
That being said, I think that the fact that you get that question so much speaks to how naturally you deliver dialogue.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
It definitely does, and I will say I think that's for both of you guys.
Or like, oh well, it seems to flow so effortlessly. He must be making it up.
Yeah.
Well, but that speaks to your writing as well and your performing. That it's writing that sounds written stands out, and so writing that doesn't sound written is harder to do.
I've gotten a lot better at less writery stuff over the years. Are y'all cool if I eat cake while we do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know
if
what
we
kind
say no. You're doing the old tequila cake 1-2 punch.
You have to tell us what it actually is, because they've been on the chat trying to figure out what it is.
This is earthquake cake from a place here in Tupelo called Simply Sweet by Marguerite. Not being paid to say that. It's kind of got like a German chocolate coconut cream layer, some chocolate cake, and then like a whipped cream cheese frosting, and it's exquisite.
Oh man.
I will say they did improvise a little at the ends of scenes. So like I wouldn't stop them sometimes because I did it on purpose, sometimes because I just didn't realize the scene was over. And so they had a couple little end funny tags here and there.
Yeah, and Richard added a couple of little.
Yeah, there's some little tiny things, but not like a whole.
Your own thing. I didn't write that, so.
Which one?
Satan's Anus.
Satan's Anus.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Yeah, that tracks. That sounds right.
He's too. He's like,
Fell Out of Dodge, I think, was a Richard edition.
Oh, was that really?
Oh,
I think so. I think it was just I'm getting us out of here in the script, and he said Fell Out of Dodge, and I was just like, whatever. I'm back here holding my head. This is fine.
I love that line. That's very funny. That was.
What is something that you wanted to have, but budget or time constraints or location constraints kept you from it? What is something? This is from SPN Bunker NA. What is something that you didn't get to include in the movie because of, just restrictions with that?
A different actor in the role of Emerson.
I thought you were going to say Hugh Jackman in the role of Roger.
But I don't know. Like when you say aside from budget, it's like, no, that's the thing that we wanted was budget.
I was going to say, this must mean how much I love you too in the roles. I was going to say warmth. I would have loved to add more of that.
Enough for us.
What's that?
You're warm enough for us.
Oh, I'll take that.
I don't know, Glenn. You tell me. Again, just being your project, but time. Would you have liked more time to do it?
Yeah, a dream of mine would be to, and I've tried this before, but like and I know this is not how the world works, but I don't really care about that. Shorter days, just so you can rest more and sleep and not just
You mean
survive.
cooling days, because it was like the dead of winter that you had plenty of like.
Which I think about that, because I think the dates that we originally threw at you, Richard, were April.
April. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I'm like, well, thank goodness that didn't work out,
Actually, would
because
have been worse in a way. Yeah.
we would have run out of nighttime.
Because of the hour light.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought about that. But
So,
then
yeah,
again,
go
I
ahead.
mean, like, just for, would we have, because the weather would have been more in our favor? I don't know. You know, like, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, the godlike ability to control time is the answer.
I always feel like, though, when you, like, I feel like whatever you're handed, the water fills that vessel. So even if you had an extra week, you still would have been up against it, because your
Yeah.
plan would have been bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you never would have been tiptoeing to the park. You know, you'd always
I
be
can
rushing.
dream. I can dream though. That's it's someday.
I just don't think anybody ever does that. It just always
Yeah.
ends up being.
What, Casey?
There's no such thing as an easy movie to make.
No, never happened. Never happened. I mean, it would have been cool to get. I don't know. The limitations kind of help craft the feeling of the movie, and I think that's probably obvious. But like, we got the coolest visuals we could get away with like car mounts and things like that, and different shots, and the limitations of the budget with the certain types of equipment and gear, which, you know, Michael and the team use so freaking well. It still lends itself to a certain look. Like if we got out there and we're getting to film like Fast and the Furious type shots of the car, where the car was still in the shot and still fulfilled the rules, it would look,
Right.
you know, I'm just saying, you know, when you do speed off at whatever point in the story, you know, you could shoot those differently, but they wouldn't have the intimacy of some of the shots that were our max, technically, I guess. That's kind of a boring thought, but
Let's see. Really quick, JD and M says, let's talk about why this cast is so fine. So just a shout out there. And
So what?
yes, not direct.
fine.
Well, yeah, we'll count you, Glenn. It's fine. Let's see.
Are we naming why?
No, they just said let's talk about why. Why are they so fine? So why are you
Oh, fine.
so fine?
I'm going, I don't know why
Richard,
we,
Glenn shoulders
Yeah.
me weird librarian fetish.
Oh, what was Rich's? His beard?
mine's got to be like, yeah, beard lovers,
Oh, his
hair.
hair.
Okay.
Yeah, you got good hair.
Let's
And
can we see your quarantine do? Is that possible, Rich?
I don't have much. I got a haircut, so it's
Oh,
as soon
okay.
as things opened up,
Gotcha.
I don't really have long hair now, so it's
Talking about-
I got it all
Oh,
cut
the
off.
baseball cap and his hair looks amazing. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
had no
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
hair.
Chris,
I looked like the worst person 2 weeks ago. Beard to here, hair everywhere. So this is you got cleaned up me.
good deal. Chris Counts wants to know, what is everyone's favorite comedy horror outside of Driven? So hi, Chris.
Chris Counts,
Hi, Chris.
who plays
Chris-
the Colonel. And
Stag Wrestle Paranormal for any fans out there.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
My favorite comedy horror. Does Hot Fuzz count as comedy horror, or is it more comedy action?
It's
Well-
comedy. Both. It's both.
Okay, well, if it's not Hot Fuzz, then it's probably Housebound.
Oh yeah, Housebound.
I don't know Housebound.
It's
Shaun
good.
of the Dead was what I was going to say. I was going to say
Shaun of the Dead is
so
my
it's-
answer as well.
Well, then I'll give it a different one, because I had two in the hopper. At least I think this counts as a comedy. I always found it on the lighter side. American Werewolf in London, which I just loved as a kid.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And that had sort of like a goofier, you know, John Landis tenor to it.
Casey's audio cuts out a little bit here and there. I don't know if that's everybody hearing that or just me.
It is.
Not that anyone cares, but I love Shaun of the Dead, but I also love Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh, thank you. That I was gonna work that in.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I hear that's good.
Oh man, you gotta watch it. It's great.
Okay, let's see. Casey, this is
Yes.
from Archangel Candy. Was the car used as Emerson's the original idea that you wrote? Like, was it always going to be Emerson's vehicle?
No, I think we were going to use my friend Tina's car at one point in time. Um,
Hello, America. Look at Glenn. Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
His abs up there.
Fixing my lamp.
when are
Yeah,
you
I
going
bet you were, you rascal.
to those Q&A? Anyway, so I think mine was just, it had a roomier interior is really what it came down to, and easy access, obviously, because I was going to be on set. Like if we had limitless budget and my dream, it probably would have been a crappier car and older, because we sort of had to ride around. I'm not
Yep.
trying to brag about how amazing my car is, but like I do have a car,
Brag about it. Brag about your car. Do it.
and Emerson is supposed to be very broke, which I am right now, but I wasn't when we were making the movie. So
Ironic.
yeah, I know. So we actually, like, I had to add in a scene where she's talking about how it's not even her car. So no, it was definitely not the original idea.
Right.
It worked out.
Let's see.
And we definitely needed the room.
Yeah, because at any given time there were several large men in my car.
I hope I'm not butchering this person's name, but Dawn Toussaint. The question is, besides buying the movie, what else can we do as fans to support your work?
Whatever platform you watch it on, please leave a review.
Reviews are big, really big.
If you see a really nasty review and you disagree with it, feel free to downvote it. If you see a nice review that you do agree with, upvote it. If you hate it, tell your enemies about it. Recommend it to people that you hate.
I've never heard of that tactic. Use the film as a weapon. I like that. That's clever.
Mm-hmm.
For these guys, for Casey and Glenn, who are going to go on and make more movies, I'd say tell your friends about their film. I mean, like getting the word out, whether you're retweeting or reposting or heck, even just, mask to mask recommendations. I mean, like, when you're talking about films you like, put that part of the conversation, because eyeballs on their work is what's important.
I think Dawn Toussaint, if we're saying it right, and if it's the name I'm thinking of, I think she just did some cool fan art of us.
I think so. Oh, the drawing.
Oh, cool.
The black,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
I
We have
think
a lot of really
we're good.
we have a lot of really talented artists who have been nice enough to spend their time and talents on making fan art. of
Yeah, it's
you
crazy.
guys. Huh?
I said, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Casey teases me because I'm so jealous of the fan art. But I love that I've taught over, over 800 students, but I've only had like 2 pieces of fan art. And Casey was pointed out in the classroom. She was like, "Is that fan art of you?" Like,
Another thing on the reviews too is, and I guess it's obvious, but if you write one, you can just copy and paste it to other platforms should you want. So if you do Amazon, you just copy and paste it to IMDb or whatever. As many as you feel like doing.
Glenn, these people want to pick the oranges off the vine, by the way, or off the tree. So
Wow.
Whoa!
yeah. Okay, let's see. What shampoo do you use, and what was your favorite part of filming?
Wait, who's that question for?
4.
I think it's Equine Dreamer, maybe.
And it's for all of us?
This is specifically for you, Richard.
Okay.
Oh,
You're so perfect. What shampoo do you use? And then what was your favorite part of filming?
I love
man,
how
I'm gonna have to. My wife just buys the shampoo. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look at it. I have no idea. Whatever is sitting on that shelf is what I use.
just a bar of soap.
It's really a question for my wife. But I'll find out before we go away. And my favorite part of filming, gosh,
That's a hard question.
I enjoyed the whole part, the whole shoot. I love making movies. I love making TV. I love shooting commercials. I love the whole thing. And, My least favorite part, I can tell you my least favorite part was the night before day one because I didn't know what to expect. But beyond that, once I got there and realized the sort of tone and tenor and energy of the shoot itself, I loved every second of it. I had a great time. And I was busy enough, you know, when you're on location and you're in a town you're not from and you don't know other people than whom you're working with, you know, downtime ain't your friend. But the great thing is it was scheduled so tightly that, you know, I was working every day. I think my one day off, I flew to Nashville, came back, worked every day. So it made for a really packed schedule, which is a good thing. And everybody was just everybody. I mean, all members of the crew, some of whom were there every day, some of whom were there one day, you know, kind of came in and out. Glenn's sister bringing treats, you know, like it was just, it was awesome. It was just an upbeat experience. And when everybody's loving what they're doing, it enables you to love what you're doing as well and love what they're doing and love the whole process, because it should never be easy, but it should always be fun. And so if it's not fun, then something's gone wrong. And it was fun. So I enjoyed the whole process.
You were very sweet. You did mention a lot that you really you liked Tupelo, that you were very nice.
I love Tupelo. I thought it was great. I thought Tupelo was great. I thought the people were great. I walked down to that, you know, day one of landing, I went down to that Neon Pig and I was mailing Chow Chow. There was Neon Pig and a FedEx across the street. And I bought 2 things of Chow Chow and shipped them home. Because, I mean, you can't get Chow Chow in Los Angeles. So
Well,
I was just.
You know, you remember my husband, John, picked you up at the airport. And
Yeah, that long drive. We had a drive. That's also something I didn't really realize. I needed to check a map next time because I did not realize how far. Like, it was not. You just don't bop into Tupelo. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta. He's the one who gave me the layout of the land. I forgot about that. He's the one. He picked. Say it again.
I said, you live in LA where all drives are that long.
Well,
Yeah, but you expect that. I guess it's like, you know, I think from being from Nashville, I think of the Southeast as being easier to navigate. But
anyway, the point is, like, my husband texted me the next day. He was like, I think I just saw Rich walking down the side of the goddamn road.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can check. He was like, tell him I said I could give him a ride. I was like, I'm sure he knows. Like, maybe he just wanted to walk. Anyway, he was very concerned about you.
Well, you guys were lovely, and you took me to brunch one day, which was lovely. But you can't walk many places in Los Angeles. Our little neighborhood does a little bit of walking, but it's not a walking city. So when I'm anywhere where I can walk to something, I walk. If I can avoid being in a car, I rarely take cabs in Vancouver. And we lost Casey. Oh, she swapped sides too. Weird. Yeah, I just loved it. So walking. The funny thing about walking there was because where my hotel was, it was kind of like I'm walking down the highway, you know, like to get to Neon Pig. So and sure, it looked like I'd been there.
That's one of our.
Yeah, Gloucester and Maine are the 2 big roads. Yeah,
well, it was great. It was a great experience.
Gloucester, that scares me a little bit, but you're fine. Clearly, you're okay.
I'm sure he was okay.
And I found a good smoothie spot too that I went to all the time.
Oh, okay. Let's see. What is everybody's favorite colors?
Favorite colors? Mine varies, but usually blue or green is what I come back to.
Green and purple, probably.
Cobalt blue. Always been a fan.
I play a character in Improv called Captain Cobalt.
There you go.
Mr. Murdery is the title of that show.
So you get it.
Yeah.
This Ashley Huber. Was the costume for Emerson planned? Did you think about the different aspects of her costume, or was it just something that you naturally picked out?
It was all stuff that I already owned, I think, but I had to add a lot more to it when it got super cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least the coat and the scarf and the boots being as tall as they were sort of last minute additions. Mm-hmm. And the long johns. Those weren't.
Yeah, well, that was kind of key.
Mhm.
If you
That
could,
was essential.
Stacey, if you could pick one thing, and I'll ask, and same thing for Rich too. If you could pick one thing from just your costume that you think was very significant for your character, like maybe it's a backstory that we don't even know from the script, like maybe it's something that you just came up with in your head. What is that significant piece of the costume that your character would like be obsessed about? So, like,
Well, I got one. I'll go first. It'll save you the hoodie, because I feel like Roger wore the hoodie to try to look like an everyman. So he was just the kind of guy who would walk in, look at a mannequin, and go, "I need to look like the average Joe, so I'll take that entire ensemble." But maybe the coat was, something he brought with him. But the hoodie was like, I want to look like everybody. Joe six-pack me,
Casey, were you about to tell the story of the crew?
What?
I thought you were about to tell the story of the crew. How
Hey,
we
come here.
Shut up, Siri.
Sorry, we got a surprise
Hey,
appearance by Frank. This is Frank.
Hey, Frank.
hey, Frank.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you go up to our bathroom and bring down the shampoo? All right, thanks. I'm gonna get to the bottom of the shampoo issue. What?
Not so
You
much
allowed
for
to
Pal-
risk in here? Yeah, okay, you leave it here. Go get the shampoo. Not the conditioner, just the shampoo.
okay, Casey, about your costume piece.
not so much the costume, but I think the hair was significant.
Mhm.
I think that so it was like half and half. I was brown up top, and then my ends were green. I think that when Emerson was with Jess, she just had full green hair,
Mhm.
and then she had been growing it out in the aftermath, but she wasn't quite ready to like let go of that, and that's why the ends were still hanging in.
Ah, cool.
Glenn, with just cinematography and all that, what is like a frame, like a shot that you were just like chef's kiss, that you were like, this looks so good, like if I could print it out and put it on my wall, I would. Like, what frame or what spot was your favorite?
Oh man.
Is that it? That's not what we were using. Sorry, Glenn. I got to stop. You answer the question. I got to sort out the.
I think for me,
Feel like
it's
Thanks anyway.
thanks, Frank. He'll never be back. This is the last time anyone will ever see him. It'll be a mystery for the ages. I think for me it's the moving shots, because they were more complicated in their own way. So when the camera moves around the car or whatever. So probably the gas station shot, because it has so many elements. And if anyone has seen the movie, yeah, they will, they'll know the shot. It kind of circles around the whole car from the inside.
it's a great shot. It's a great shot.
Thank you. Yeah, it
Because
took
besides shampoo,
did he go out that door and then just come in the side of the room?
Yeah, and then you left.
Like he came in another door and just like a Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I would probably say the gas station scene. Took several tries. We had a car that we were driving across for artsy fartsy reasons, but yeah, that would be it for me.
Nice.
We can talk trash about Rich while he's gone.
I don't know. I feel like we might still be in his ear because he had
Oh, that's sneaky.
AirPods. I've done this.
Well, hang on. Here's the test. Richard, he's muted himself.
Oh, okay.
Richard can crap in his hat.
I'm back.
Remember how I told you if I talk crap about somebody, they will come back?
They show like a poof. Beetlejuice.
This is not the this is the conditioner, but this is what my wife is currently using. that
Aveeno.
I'm using.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not enough fancy people. We're no, hey dude, don't do that over there. You're gonna knock over the guitar. So this is what we're going with.
Guitar.
You're gonna trip the chord now. Pick it up. Sorry. If anybody's ever listened to the podcast I do with Rob and you hear Frank enter the room, this is the room I do the podcast in, and this is Frank entering the room. So this is a real life example. Hey, no, I think you're gonna have to, so I can hear. You should go up to the yard, okay? All right, there he goes, ripsticking. He's on a ripstick, so he's rolling around.
Ah.
Bye, Frank.
Bye, Frank.
You got to wave. All right. There he goes.
Speaking of Rob, this goes into a question that somebody asked, and I have to admit I know a little bit of the backstory already. But how did you guys connect? How did this friendship begin?
With Rob?
Well, between the three of y'all, I know that.
Oh, the three of us. Sorry. Oxford Film Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Oxford Film Festival in Oxford, Mississippi. It was 20, I'm pretty sure it was 2013 or 2014. I came down there with my short film, America 101, that I had written and directed.
I gotta get a cord for the phone.
Oh, that's a fancy dress.
It is.
It was the first festival that I played. Yeah, it looks nice. Suits you. First festival I played, so I was super nervous and going down there, and among the cool people I met were Glenn and Casey. And then I think we kind of met in passing. I don't think we really hung out a ton. But the next year I came back with Rob Benedict because he had a short film in the festival called The Sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I remember seeing you guys at the really fancy house, the kickoff party, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And chatting with you guys about, and in the meantime, I'd seen some of your work because when we met the first year, you gave me a DVD of your shorts. So, because you had one called Genre Revolt that was in the festival.
Yeah.
And so I had seen a couple other their short films in the interim. And then Rob came, and then we all kind of hung out. And Oxford is just a fun festival. It's just really chill. The community supports films. The screenings are well attended. It's just a super fun. So I think I've been 3 times.
I'm gonna have to
only twice with films.
I can charge my phone. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, do your thing. But that's how we all met.
I can confirm it's true. Everything he said is true.
At least a solid 90% of what he said.
Yeah, 90% or more. Yeah, fact check.
Let's see. Favorite toppings on your pizzas? We'll start with Glenn. Go ahead, Glenn.
I'm a big fan of lots of toppings. So like I like Supreme or something with a whole bunch of stuff, and that can be mixed and matched. But I also can go with just a straight pepperoni or something simple. I eat pizza all the time. I'm going to get something and show you guys. You keep talking.
Okay. Casey, toppings on your pizza. Go.
I typically, so I like cheese, just regular cheese pizza. I like pork sausage and pepperoni, and I've recently gotten into artichokes. Like a roasted artichoke is good on a pizza.
Oh, yeah. And I'll eat just about anything if it's on a pizza. I thoroughly enjoy pizza, but like go to old school. What is that?
The wallet with pizza on it.
Oh,
Wallet, where'd you get it, Glenn?
Casey Dillard gave this to me.
That's right.
nice.
I don't know
Friends.
if it was like a birthday thing or just I think my other wallet had fallen apart.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was time for a new wallet.
Yeah, I hang on to things too long.
Saw it and thought of you.
My go-to is black olive and pepperoni with maybe the jalapenos in there.
I agree with all of these people saying pineapple. Pineapple is legit on a pizza.
I'm gonna try and so that I can pretend that my phone is squared.
Marley,
Probably the one thing I don't like on a pizza is pineapple.
Caroline Up the Grove, who was in the film in the beginning with the montage, and she used to be in our improv group, West of Shake Rag, with Casey, Marley, myself, and others. She let us borrow her vehicle for Rich to use to get around town if he needed to. I don't know if he ever had a
That was
chance.
so nice of her. Yeah.
She says that you change the time in her car to the actual time, so she never has to do the math anymore to know if she's on track to be on schedule.
Oh, well, I'm glad I was able to help.
Changing lives, man. You're just.
I tell you, that's what you get when you put an anal retentive man in your car. I'm gonna clean your cup holders and set your clocks right.
Casey, was the time correct in your car when you were filming?
It probably was up to the first point that they killed my battery.
Yeah.
After that, yes.
Yeah, we killed the battery a lot, but we jumped it off with this little robot that Heather had.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, Heather.
Yeah, we do a product placement, but I don't remember what it was called.
Let's see.
Also, they're not paying us, and I'm very mercenary.
Clearly,
You-
unlike the cake company that gave you a nice.
Oh yeah, they wrote me a huge check.
Clearly you had some downtime, and with filming in the car, you were very like you were kind of stuck. You didn't really get to always get in and out of the car during your downtime. So what was your go-to to entertain yourself? Like, let's say they were changing the lighting or changing the view or whatever. What was your go-to to kill time between those shots? What did you do?
I don't know where the idea that we got a lot of downtime came from.
They were like adjusting. What did
I
you
guess with Casey and me sitting in the car, unable to move while they adjusted stuff. Okay.
Right.
I recall, and Casey, you can clarify, because my recollection is we read hate mail or like angry things people said about me online, or we were doing something. We were angry tweets or something.
You're close. Wrong end of the emotional spectrum. I think I read you some erotic fan fiction about your character.
Right. I knew it was something that got me aroused. And I couldn't remember if it was hate mail or.
Yeah, we did that once. And then about halfway through, I was like, oh no, maybe this isn't an appropriate thing to do with my coworker. You showed me a very entertaining audio clip of Casey Kasem
Casey Kasem. Oh, that's a classic.
Angry about the lead-in music to A Question.
That's a great bit. Yeah.
I think you introduced me to I'm in my mom's car.
Yeah, that's a classic. Good for me.
And then I think that I did that impressed you more than anything else on the movie shoot was I showed you how to fit the photo of your entire family as the backdrop on your phone without cropping out any kids.
Yeah, you did teach me that, and I still have that. I still use that gift you gave me. Long after you've forgotten who I am, I will have these. I think it was this photo. I mean, that's right.
So yeah, that was sort of that was what we got into. That and like checking out Glenn at various points in time.
Oh, I found out later. See, later, because I edit my own films, I can hear when they're talking trash about me. And I didn't know it. And later when because I'm recording their audio. And there was one time, it was really funny. You guys were like, I don't know if I could say what you were saying, actually. But something about a certain kind of cake. You kept repeating something cake. And, you'd whisper it into the microphone.
It's your favorite kind of cake. I remember.
Yeah, my favorite kind. Because I have these headphones where I can usually hear, Zach would give me headphones to hear whatever you guys were saying so I could monitor the audio. But I didn't like wearing them, so you would see if I was really listening. It was bad stuff. They were saying bad stuff.
Casey, you were delusionally tired one night that we came up with a very Calvin Klein-esque commercial. So
the perfume ad, yeah.
Yes.
Every now and then when I'm like going through and seeing what I can delete off my phone, I run across that, and I'm like, no, this was good. I'll keep it.
Jenny Jumper says, Casey, you did a great job with showing what it's like to be a rideshare driver. Jenny's done it for a long time, for 4 years, and you absolutely nailed the experience that you so good job.
Thank you very much. 4 years. Man, good for you. That's that can be a tough job. Depending what night and what passenger. So, thanks for providing a valuable service. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
The comments are funny. Something crazy is happening over here.
Next, let's say, okay. What is everybody working on next? So let's start with Glenn. Go ahead.
Well, there's a little something in the works that's a no money kind of thing that will be put out. But I was just thinking about how I really want to make a carnival movie with these guys. I think that'll be fun. So I need money for that, though, unfortunately. But I think that would be pretty cool.
You are working on a project, and I'm involved in that.
You are, yeah, you are. It's sort of a secret thing though. Yeah, more or less.
Ooh.
But yeah, we should make a carnival movie with lots of cool looking visuals and stuff, and
I love it.
other elements I won't say because someone will just take the idea.
Yeah.
So,
What job do you think Richard would work at a carnival?
what job?
Yeah.
Bearded lady, maybe. I don't know.
Guess your weight.
You get your way.
Some kind of game, like some kind of
Very vocal, right? He could be a
The Carney Barker.
yeah, Barker.
The Midway Games guy.
Yeah.
Midway
What a
Games
nice
guy.
lady friend there. Lovely lady deserves a lovely
Yeah, I
prize.
think he could really nail that. Or he could be like a I know it's not the circus, but like a ringleader type, you know, like drumming up the crowd.
A very strange fact about the carnivals that come to Tupelo. I've been invited as a date to a crawfish boiled more than once by a carny who came to Tupelo.
That must be code for something bad, Marley.
Yeah.
Accept, but it's a thing. Casey, what are you working on? Well, she's gone now forever.
Hey, I want to play this game real quick. What would Casey and I do at a carnival if we were in a movie? What jobs would we have? I feel like that's
You guys would be the couple that go into the haunted house that everybody knows is going to go terribly wrong.
The
And
beginning
Glenn's
scene.
afraid, but Casey's just so precocious that he can't say no. Come on, Glenn, don't be a weenie. And in you go to the automated cart that takes you guys through, and then things go crazy and they run amok in the confines of the funhouse.
I feel like that's the opening scene. I don't make it so that I get to go direct the rest of the movie.
Right.
I would be an aerialist.
Ooh.
Yeah, you would be
Right.
good.
I can do double point lyra and stationary trapeze. I can't do swinging trapeze, but I can do some of the other stuff.
You already have a skill set. That's perfect.
Well, you're like a master hooper too,
Yeah.
meaning hula hooping, not basketball. I'm the master.
Yeah, you're the master hooper of basketball.
Casey, what are you working on next?
Sorry. So I am trying to get back into writing stuff. I feel like I've been a little bit frozen while I'm waiting for Driven to go out into the world, and now I'm out of excuses. But yeah, there's a few irons in the fire. I'm also involved in Glenn's secret project. So yeah, that's most of it. And improv. I've been actually doing a lot of improv in quarantine. I'm performing with Shake Rag. I performed with a team out of Houston called Magical Lying Hour recently. And yeah, that's most of it. A little writing, a little improv, and a lot of dog walking.
A lot of walks. Yeah.
Marley, you want to be in a carnival movie?
I would love to be in your carnival movie.
Okay, let's do it.
I will accept the crawfish boil invitation for your carnival movie.
Well, you say that now.
Oh wow!
Vegetarian, so I'm not going to eat any of their crawfish.
Actually,
It's fine.
I may need a connection to get to use a carnival. So if you could use that magic of yours to talk to a couple guys.
Yes,
Let 'em boil
say
your
yes.
coffee, Marley.
One of
This is
those.
important.
Yeah.
Rich, what are you working on right now? If you can talk about it, if it's top secret.
Oh, I can talk about it because I have no freaking clue. I did the last episode of Supernatural. I directed. I finished right before they closed down Vancouver. So I finished all my work on that show, and then came here and just this jack crap going on. So I've been working on been doing a podcast with Rob, which has been really fun. We do that every week, and that's been really neat sort of exercise. Say it again.
So you should let me interview you guys on the podcast.
Nothing would please me more. We need to mix it up a little bit. It is. Do you have a podcast too, or our podcast? You interview on our podcast,
and I will ask the tough questions.
Believe me, because we're not. We are softball city. But we. So we're enjoying doing that, and then I'm dabbling. Going to release some more music because I got some sitting around, so I'm going to put that out. And barring that, I don't know what I'll do on screen or behind the lens. I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Any clue how far that city is from getting back to stuff?
No, I mean, I talked to people up in Vancouver who say it's looking great, feeling great. but part of the thing is they will get going perhaps, but when will Americans be able to go up there to be involved in that stuff? I don't know. So it's really two answers to that question.
Tough, yeah.
So I don't know, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot of question marks right now.
Yeah, man, big time.
I am wondering about that. I think it's a question that we can all relate to in some way, shape, or form. With the past few months and being at home, what is something that you've been doing outside of like spending time with family and all that? What is something that you're doing to have like somewhat of a creative outlet while you're staying in more?
I can show you something I did.
Okay.
I'm
Not
doing it.
project, just something that you're like, just your creative outlet. Like, are you like painting? Are you like you were creating music, Rich, is what you said, right? You've been working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There goes Glenn.
I did this drawing of JC. My boy JC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Trying to get a glare.
That's a beautiful drawing.
And
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was trying to be.
For a hot minute, and I'm not making a joke. When you were picking it up, I thought you meant my wife because you were like, JC. I'm like, well, what's this bit going to be? Because my wife's name is JC. So I was like, where are we going with this one? But
And
yeah, no, it's just great.
From NSYNC.
Yeah. I didn't design it. It's a Peter Paul Rubens painting from I forget the year, man. 1600s, 1500.
That's great, Glenn.
I ripped it off.
Cool.
I just wanted to draw something.
He did time
That's
lapse
awesome.
too. It's pretty cool. So you can watch.
He did what?
He did time lapse videos of it too, like live.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Okay, what's been your creative outlet other than, of course, you said you've been improvising? Like, have you done a specific hobby or anything while you've been in?
Things that I feel like I can excuse by saying that I'm creative, but if you look at them too closely, they are the activities of a lunatic. I do a lot of like improvising scenes with myself, which when stripped down to its basic form is talking to myself. I try and record like a song or a monologue and then critique it, which is great because I love beating myself up.
You're your own worst critic.
What now?
You're your own worst critic.
I don't know. I think I probably have some people that critique me pretty hard. But yeah, my main project has been getting all of the neighborhood cats to love me. And now that I have achieved, except Smush Face, and now that I have achieved that, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do.
Rich, do you I know Katie, oh my God, where'd that come from? Casey doodles a little bit anyway. Obviously you write and perform and rap and sing and things like that. Rich, you do you have a lot of musical talents, which are a fine art. Do you do anything else in the fine art world? Like any?
No, I'm not a painter or drawer or anything like that. And not because I don't enjoy those things. I literally have zero skill, zero ability. I don't. My hobby, my creative hobbies are all fall into the framework of what we already do. I mean, the singing is definitely a hobby, fun to play with people more talented than I am and do that kind of stuff. But left to my own devices, like one of the things I've been doing to kill time in the COVID world, and I haven't had an awful lot of time because I got 3 kids homeschooling, so we've had a lot going on here. But I made a music video for a song that I did, on the first album by having all the band members shoot their own footage on their iPhone. Sort of have conversation with them on what they should ballparky do. And then it's been sort of an editing exercise because I really love editing. So it's been a fun sort of just, gee, I wonder what I'll get and I wonder what I'll put together and I wonder what this will be kind of exercise.
I was gonna follow that up with exercise and just movement and stuff. A lot of people have used like, YouTube workout videos and of course walking and stuff. Casey walks a lot. Glenn, you work out at home, right? You've been doing
Yeah.
Don't talk to him about it.
It's the worst.
Rich, what do you do? Do you take walks? Like you were saying that LA is not a big walking location. So
Well, my neighborhood's walking in terms of that. Like that stuff, you can walk around the neighborhood. It's just not walking in terms of walks to restaurants and bars. But it's the neighborhood I'm in is lovely in terms of being able to get out and move around. It's a really cool. You know, I do a lot of walking. I do jogging, and I've been like Glenn working out at the house on my own, just doing my own, minor routine. Probably been more consistent with it than I have been in a long time, just because I'm here. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm also not in airports and in airplanes, so I'm not leaving, which is nice. So I have a little bit of a routine. But yeah, interesting thing in my neighborhood, they put just volunteers went by, and not to get too political, but we're in very political times right now, and they used stretchy material of some sort, and so it's a chain link fence that surrounds this reservoir near me, and in the chain link fence they put, the entire lake is surrounded by the names of African Americans who've been killed by cops in which there's been no conviction, and so it was just lined with that. And then we did a candlelight walk around it the other night with the kids. It was really lovely. So it's nice not only to get out, because we all have to get out of this cabin fever kind of thing we're all in, but also to see that even in their downtime, the neighborhood is being really supportive and aware and active. And I feel like a lot of times in this kind of world we're in now with the lockdown, people are more politically aware because there's not as many distractions. Not everybody has a job to go back to. Not everybody has a school to attend. You know what I mean? So I feel like people are, if you're going to have this incident and this sort of uprising, it's certainly a perfect storm for it. So it's been interesting to see how the neighborhood has responded and what one sees and the tone one senses when you're out on the hood.
Yeah, Tupelo's been responding too, and Glenn and Casey and I have been doing what we can to support who needs to be supported. So yeah,
it's like I said the other day, like I feel like your sons are growing up in a very, very interesting period of American history, and I don't know. That's I'm not jealous of them, because obviously there's a lot of turmoil, but also like we haven't lived through anything like this before.
No, and not only that, but it's I had that very conversation with my sons, who's two of my sons are middle schoolers, and I was like, hey, when he was having a down moment, I was saying, I got a lot of parallels for you, but not for this situation. Like, I can't relate to the time I was in lockdown as a preteen. So it is taxing them in new and unique ways that we're having to learn as a family. Speaking of which, hold on one second. I have to go tell my son something, but as you were.
well, actually,
We're probably getting towards the end, I imagine.
Yeah.
How long
we're actually towards the end of the Q&A, and I was also going to say that even though these times are difficult, challenging, interesting, enlightening, we do hope that you find ways to take care of yourselves and find ways to just come back down to earth and even at times find ways to entertain yourself. And I think Driven is a great movie, and I think it is a great way to take time and relax and just go into this other plot, this other story. So
Thank you, Marley.
also, Glenn, take your shirt off.
Take my shirt off.
Yeah.
So
So you said I should destroy this shirt and never wear it again? Is that
Oh.
what we got to?
I'm not in charge of that. I would say that it's probably Rich or Casey who need to decide that. So yeah.
I like the shirt. I'm very pro shirt. I didn't travel with it like Casey did, so for me it's a
Don't destroy the shirt. Don't destroy the shirt.
All right, I'll keep it.
campaign for it?
What's that?
I had to campaign for that shirt. You weren't going to buy it.
I was
You were
not. This is not my
Shirt,
Not my
and it
thing.
looked so good on you.
Not my thing.
So yeah, I think
Take it off. She gave you a solution.
So I think we are going to be ending the live stream here in just a second. And if we could go ahead and get just, I guess, final thoughts for now. We'll start with Casey. Go ahead.
Just thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you to everyone who wasn't able to watch this live because of time differences, but maybe you'll watch it in the aftermath. Just everybody who has supported us along the way. It's been amazing. Like we've never had this many people wanting our movie before. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with Richard, but hopefully it has to do with the movie as well. But either way, you guys have been incredible. And I really hope that it's something that you guys enjoy and that can be a source of entertainment in these very weird times. Also, keep a journal because, again, these are weird times and we may never live through something like this again. And you'll want to remember it one way or the other.
Okay. Rich, go ahead.
There's a lot I hate about social media, which is most of it. But the one thing that's good about it is being able to get independent projects like this out and in the hands and eyes and ears of an audience. So kudos to Casey and Glenn for making a great movie. It starts there. You make crap, you're not going to get anywhere. But you made a great movie. It's a great script, great idea. Glenn, you had a very clear and clever way of shooting it that you stuck to, and it speaks volumes to your style and creative mind. And I think the film is better than people will expect. I think it's, given the confines of what you were, you can say it's a good movie because it's a small movie. It's a small movie, so it's really good for being a small movie. But I think it's just a really good movie without adding on the for a small movie. I think it's very clever, very fun, and it's just a good ride. And social media, this is what it's for. If you're out there and you have artists that you like, promote their work. This is how people like Glenn and Casey get to make another movie, is by getting this movie out there and spread around there, because this is not a studio film. There's no big backer here. It's just grit and gumption from those two that you even know anything about this movie. So support them, watch it, you'll enjoy it. And let's, help them make another one.
And Glenn, before we end our stream, I promise not to end it in the middle of your sentence. Go ahead.
Well, that feels like a promise for sure. Well, thanks, Rich. That was very nice of you. These guys did such an amazing job, and I'm so proud of them and so lucky to get to work with them. And hopefully someday we will again on something that fits for everybody and all that. And I think collectively hope that if you guys get to watch the movie, that you will get some joy from it and it'll maybe brighten your day a little bit. And thank you guys so much for all the support. Like Casey was saying, you guys really embraced us, and we appreciate that very, very much. And thank you to Rich for doing the same thing, and for helping get the word out in ways that we could never ever do on our own. So thank you so much for that, sir.
Well, you're welcome, but it's also because you guys know what you're doing. You make good movies, so it was easy to dive in because it was a fun process and a fun project.
Yeah, well, thank you. Marley, thank you for helping us make this happen. You are our tech guru.
Yeah. Thank you.
Marley does a lot of digital hangouts that she set up for our friends and her friends. And that's where her expertise, I think, has come from, was hanging out during the quarantine.
This Saturday is the first Saturday since March 21st that I will not be hosting a Saturday night game. Wow. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah. Only because I'm on the road, I'll be volunteering, and I am open to helping with anybody else's Q&As. This is fun. I enjoy it. Thank you. Rich, it was great to get to talk to you. It's been for ages and ages now, so it's awesome.
Yes.
Actually, since we met, I've actually seen some more of your other work too. Now that I know who you are, I've gotten to see some more of your work, and you're wonderful and you're very talented.
Thank you.
And I enjoyed meeting you, and your family seems wonderful too. And I remember great things that you told me about them. Glenn and Casey, you're all right. And everybody, I hope that you take care and take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a great night.
Bird
Bye,
spoon forever.
everybody. Enjoy the